do this. Okay, perfect. We're good to go. So I'm so excited to have Jocelyn Yates on this Zoom with us tonight. I can't wait for everybody to hear your story, Jocelyn, because your story is just so, I just love your story so much. And you were one of the ones, I think, when I first started with this business, I followed you. I followed all of your training videos. Like, pretty sure half of my team was obsessed with you too. So I'm excited to hear your story and just, I really want to prepare everybody for the rest of this month and help everybody get as many Christmas wishes as they possibly can in and earn as much Christmas cash as they possibly can this month. And the game plan that it works and our corporate staff and Mark and Mike and Pam have laid out for us is just amazing. They've really made it as simple as possible as they can for us to have as much money in our pockets as possible and to just really make everybody's Christmas wishes come true. So I'm so excited about this month, and I'm so excited to have you on the Zoom with us too and get like all of the best tips for helping everybody sign distributors this month. So
so my story, right?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay. So as Jennifer said, I am Jocelyn Yates, and I found this business almost 5 years ago. It was January of 2013. I was modeling wedding dresses at a bridal expo, and so in between the fashion shows, I was walking around entering all of the free drawings because they were free. And I ended up entering a wrap drawing, had no clue what it was. But about a week later, I got a phone call from a lady named Andrea, and she said, "Hey, just wanted to let you know you won second place. You won $5 off a wrap." And I was kind of curious, so I was like, okay, cool. Like I set up an appointment with her to get the wrap. And, I was 19 at the time, and I was self-conscious enough that I was legitimately looking at possibly doing that, what is it called? They use like an ultrasound machine to zap the fat away or something, and it's like several $100s to do this one time. And I was looking at doing that. And so when I found the wraps and it was only $25 to try one, I was like, okay, sweet. Like, if this does what it says it's going to do, like, I'm awesome. So I remember back then, we used to measure and like all that jazz. And so I remember measuring, and then 45 minutes later, my measurements were the same, but my pictures were like a tiny bit different. I was like, okay, I look a little bit smaller, so it works. It's cool. But then 3 days later, I wish I would have taken pictures, but my measurements were tons smaller. And I always explain to people that after that one wrap, my before picture was like, I felt like I had to suck in to look good in a dress. My after picture, I didn't have to suck in anymore. And so I immediately, I'm a yellow, if you don't know that. My primary color is yellow, and then it's almost red immediately after. But because I am so yellow, as soon as I tried that one wrap, I was like, holy cow, my mom needs this, my sisters need this, my friends are going to want this. And so I started referring people to Andrea, and I was like, hey, I've got all these people that want these wraps, like, I want some more. And so she invited me to a wrap party, and she said, hey, if you bring 4 people with you, then I will give you a wrap for free. And I was like, okay, I want another wrap for free. So I brought 4 people with me to her party, and I bought 1 or 2 wraps myself. I got my free wrap, plus the people that I brought each bought 1 or 2 wraps each. And so just this one night, just from my little party, she made about $200 to $300 in wrap cash. And then probably like a week or 2 later, she finally, reaches out, and she's like, Jocelyn, you're so excited about these products. And I wanted to ask you, why don't you just sign up to sell them and make money off of your family and friends instead of making me all of this money? And so it was a no-brainer, honestly. I literally just remember thinking, sure, why not? And so being 19, I was living at home, going to school full time, working full time as a nanny. And both of my parents told me, like, hey, we know people that have tried things like that, and usually it doesn't work out. You're probably not going to make your money back. It's what they call a pyramid scheme. Nobody makes money at those things, you know. And I just remember my dad patting me on the back saying, like, so don't say we didn't tell you so in a few months, but do what you want. And so but I wanted to do it. And so I remember looking at the income chart, seeing that double diamond income, thinking, okay, that would be like beyond a dream. I don't think I could ever make more than $6,000 a month in my whole life. And, you know, that was like, for me, that was like ambassador money. That was like baller money. And so that was like my long-term, maybe a few years down the road goal. And my first month, because I was so excited about the wraps, I just signed up customers and retail customers and sold wraps, and I made about $500 cash between commissions and wrap cash. And so I just kind of got to this mindset, like, okay, cool, like I just made $500, like I don't have to do anything and it's residual, right? It didn't work that way. Gradually, my customers stopped ordering because I didn't talk to them, and a lot of them were retail customers, so they only order one time anyways. And so a few months later, it's like August or September, and I remember my mom turns to me one day and she's like, why are you still doing that? You're not making any money. And I just kind of like, it was kind of one of those slap in the face moments where you're like, shoot. And so I just remember telling her, like, well, yeah, I am. And I kind of made the decision then and there that I was going to make this business work. I mean, quitting has never been an option for me. Like, I never even thought about it, but I made the commitment that I was just going to make this work, that there wasn't going to be another option. And so, wow, your Christmas tree has a diamond on it. That's so cool. Sorry, I just noticed that. That's so cool. Anyway, so I decided I was going to make this business work, and I just remember making the commitment that I was going to show up. You know, they always say when you show up, you go up. And so I decided to start showing up to team trainings that were close, 1-to-1 missions that were close. We didn't have Zooms back then, but I would have gotten on those. But we did conference calls. That's how old school, right? So I'd call in on the conference calls and listen to those. And I just specifically remember two things. So the first one, I went to a training. It was 2.5-hour drive one way. So it took me at least 5 hours of driving that day. Plus then the training was maybe 2 hours. So it was a day trip, you know. And at this training, Stephanie Dunn was there. She's my upline. Andrea, the lady that signed me up, she's Andrea's direct upline. So I'm pretty close to Stephanie. And I just remember at this party, they had a Christmas cash bonus going around that time of year. I think this was in like October. And I remember she's going around the room asking everybody, what's your goal? What's your goal? And everybody was like, oh, my goal is to do the steps to success and make $500. Because that was the thing. You got $500 if you did the steps to success all the way. And so I remember thinking, like, man, that's way too hard. I can't sign up distributors. Like, that's just beyond me. So I've got to think of a different goal because I can't do that. And so when she gets to me, I just tell her, well, all I want is the $600 loyal customer bonus. And she looked at me like I was crazy. And then I don't know what she talked about that training, but I just remember thinking, okay, maybe if this top income earner thinks I'm crazy for just wanting this loyal customer bonus, maybe I should listen to what she has to say about the steps to success and see how this goes. And I don't know what she taught, but I just remember leaving that training filled with the belief that she had in me to just say, you know what, I'm going to shoot for the steps and see what happens. And because of that, that propelled me that next month to complete my steps to success and earn that $500 bonus. And also around that same time, I found a conference call from somebody else in the company who said she was doing her steps to success a week on Instagram. Every week she was doing it. And so I was like, okay, there's something there. I'm going to figure out how to work Instagram. And that's when things really started changing for me. So pretty much once I kind of figured out that I was good with social media, things started taking off for me. And really the biggest thing was I did the steps to success one time and I made $500. And then I had the aha moment. What if I just did the steps to success again? Would I make another $500? And I did. And I kept doing it again and again and again. And within like 3 months from that point, I was a diamond, making $3,000 a month. So when we tell you to do the steps to success, that's why. And then obviously from there, it took me 1 full year to promote to diamond. And then it took me another year to promote to presidential, and then another year after that to promote to ambassador. So 3 years to ambassador. Quitting was never an option, and I realized that it is the simplicity of the steps to success. And just realized it took me 9 months to promote for the first time to executive. And one of the things that was holding me back was I didn't feel like I could sign distributors.
I'm so glad you touched on that, and I even wrote that down to like bring it up later, because I feel like every single time somebody feels like they tell me like, I can't sign loyal customers, I can't sign distributors, and like, well, that's exactly why you're not signing people, because you keep telling yourself that you can't do it. Where you see all these other people earning their Christmas cash, but in the back of your mind, you just feel like it's not a possibility for you, like that you can't do it. When in reality, anybody can earn these bonuses. Anybody complete the steps to success each month. Anybody can sign distributors. It's just you have to have that belief that it can actually happen. And so I'm so glad that you touched on that, because I'm like a huge believer in the law of attraction. I know like you're huge on that too, and just your mindset is everything. So what do you think for you, what made this switch for you thinking that you can do it to like that you couldn't do it to all of a sudden that you were signing people up left and right and you ended up promoting so quick?
So honestly, I think one of the biggest things is being around people that are where you want to be, or more specifically, being around people that believe enough in you. So I know for me, that was being around my upline. It was being around the other distributors that were in that training. It was being around Stephanie. It was getting on the Zooms and not Zooms, but the conference calls. It was getting on things and listening to things, because, you know, or even if you listen to the Show Me the Money call, they are so inspiring, because they'll literally, while they're talking, they'll say, and you can do this too, you know, and you know, they're talking straight to you. And so, and I think that's one of the most important things with this business is you've got to know, whether Jennifer is your upline or I'm your upline, that we believe in you and know you can do this. And that's all you need right now. You don't have to believe in yourself yet. I didn't believe in myself when I first got started. I thought, like, I remember when I was working on Diamond, I was like, why are people signing up with me? I feel like I'm a terrible leader. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell them. Like, I feel like they're just going to sign up with me and not get any help. Like, I felt so inadequate. But you've got to realize that if you can just take the confidence that we have in you and know that people join you because they trust you and they can see something in you, then that's going to push you through. And so I honestly think that was the biggest thing, is I realized that other people knew I could do it. And if somebody else could do it, why couldn't I?
I freaking love that. Okay, so when I signed up as a distributor, my enroller's on here, Shauna. I worked at a salon, and she bugged me, like, or was talking about it all the time in front of me, and I just like wasn't interested. I kind of grew up with the mindset that these were pyramid schemes and that nobody really made any money. It was something like housewives did if they were like bored or something, and nobody really made money. So I wasn't really interested in it. But then I watched her talk about her goals and her dreams, and then starting for her to like she started making an extra $500 a month. She started like accomplishing these goals that she had out to herself. So I think one main, big tip for like signing distributors is to really like talk about where you want to go and to talk about what your goals and your dreams are. Because once you start accomplishing those goals and those dreams that you keep talking about, I had so many people. I think the day I went diamond, I had 11 distributors sign up because I had talked about it for 3 months nonstop. And then when I actually accomplished it, it was like, oh, well, she isn't full of a bunch of crap. Like, she actually is doing what she said she's going to. And so I just remember when I first started, I just had all these doubts and these fears. I was worried about what people were going to think of me. I was worried about putting myself out on social media because before that, I posted maybe like once a week. I was kind of wasn't 100% backed behind the products because I hadn't tried them. And so I just had all these doubts and these fears in the back of my mind. And so when I signed up for 4 months, I didn't do anything with my business. I didn't make anything. And so I finally got to this point after watching Shauna for so long of her becoming successful with this business. And after the bonuses came out, it just, I was in such a bad place in my life, living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to pay my bills, working 60 hours a week. And I wasn't doing anything different to change that situation. I've been doing the same schedule, the same routine for the past, 6-7 years, and nothing had changed. And so something really just clicked within me that, if I want my life to change, or if you guys on here are in a position where you want your life to change, like, you need to change something. So if things aren't progressing in your business the way that you want to, something needs to change. And so I just made this decision that I was just going to give this business my all and, back the actions behind that. And 3 months later, I went diamond. So it's just crazy how quickly your business can change when you just make the decision. And I feel like that is one of the key things with signing distributors is like, you just have to make the decision that you can do this. And that you're no different from Jocelyn. You're no different from Stephanie. You're no different than, our upline Chad and Drury. Like, we're no different from them. And that anybody can start signing distributors and become successful with this business if you just make that decision.
Yeah. So I'm the post. I just posted a YouTube link in the chat. And, as you were kind of talking, it just reminded me, how you said you were watching your upline success, and it was the way she was posting and talking about how the business was changing her life that made you end up reaching out. And I know that when we can post in those ways, that's going to be the best way that we are going to get people reaching out to us that are interested. And so this is a video that Jade Hooper made 2 years ago, and it's one of my favorites. It's one of the Periscope ones, so it's kind of,
she
goes on a tangent a little bit sometimes, but she uses a hypothetical situation with a lady named Donna, and she explains, like if Donna was a distributor and she was watching Donna's post, she explains what's going on through her mind as she sees the post. And, at first she's like, man, that's so annoying. Donna's just posting all the time. And then, she's like, man, I hate my job, but freaking Donna is sitting at home with her kids. And it's just funny because at one point she's like, that biatch Donna. And so, that's what's going on in your potential's minds when they watch your post. But the way that she talks in this video gives you a really good idea on how you should be posting, even if you're not successful yet. Because she's like, I don't know if Donna's an executive or an ambassador. The way she posts is making me want to join her. And so if you haven't watched that, save that link and watch it in your spare time. It's probably my all-time favorite Jade Hooper video.
I feel like I remember seeing it when she was making it. That was such a good one. But I feel like that's true. So let's talk about posting for a minute because, posting isn't asking, but it does play a key part in getting people just initially interested in your, becoming a distributor. So what do you think what are some good examples? Let's talk about maybe do's and don'ts of posting. To get potential, to get people attracted to the business. So let's talk about the don'ts first. What would you kind of say some things are not to do?
So don't, if it looks like it works corporate made the picture, don't post it. So what I mean by that is like your page should not have a bunch of black and green join my team type of pictures. And those don't get people interested. And then another one is don't use the words join my team, because that is selfish. People don't want to join selfish people. And so, you know, you'll notice, especially when if you read through my post ever, I always say join our team, because it really is, you know, we work together as a team. We help each other as a team. We are, you know, and so people want to be part of something, and they don't want to feel like they're going to work for you, if that makes sense. So don't say join my team. And then I think another thing is just don't be so matter of fact about it. Like, I'm looking for 3 people that want to join our team or whatever. You want to, don't just do those. You want to, I mean, the way I like to word it is you want to be able to pull on people's heartstrings and post like that. Although if you throw them in every once in a while, they can get people with that sense of urgency. Every single day, it's not going to work. I don't even know if that even made sense. But
No,
you're nodding your head, so I think it does.
It totally made sense because, well, first of all, going back to like posting ads and stuff like that, that's not going to grab people's attention. You know, we're like in this day and age where people are fast forwarding through commercials. They scroll past ads. Like, people don't want to see ads anymore. So the last thing that you want to do is for your post to look like Jocelyn said, like an ad. You don't want to do that. So, and I liked how you said like pulling on people's heartstrings. Like, so, you know, kind of going into like the do's of posting with attracting distributors, like you want to show people where, like, I love using, you know, past, present, and future, like really telling your story, showing like, you know, where you came from, where you are now, and then where you're going. So for me, you know, like when I started, I was living in a studio guest house. I was working 6 days a week, 60 hours, you know, I was working all the time. So my posts in the beginning, I just remember saying like coming home to my studio guest house and just saying like, you know, I've lived in the studio guest house for so long. It's always been a goal of mine to move out of this place, but we just couldn't afford it. But I started this new business and I'm really excited about it because by the end of this year, we're going to be able to move out of there. And, you know, it was just those kinds of posts. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have like this crazy success story. Just talk about where you are, the hope that this company is giving you, and then where you're going. That's what you got to do, because I guarantee if you're posting things like that, people are going to relate to your story because everybody's looking to make an extra income. Everybody has certain things in their life that they want to change, and they're going to relate to you. And you can tell your story in so many different ways is the thing. So definitely telling your story is a huge thing. Jocelyn, I always like look at your profile for inspiration like all the time. And you take the most amazing photos that are super eye-catching. So do you kind of want to talk about like what kind of photos should people be using in order to attract distributors?
Yeah, so before that, I just want to throw in a statistic because I think that really brings the point across. So there was a study done in 2015 that said that digital marketing experts estimated that most Americans are exposed to 4,000 to 10,000 advertisements each day. So if you're posting an advertisement theming post on Facebook or Instagram, most likely people will scroll right past it. And that's why we want to focus on these eye-catching posts and pictures and things. So I just wanted to throw that in there because that's why we don't post things that look like ads. Okay. So for me, what I do, honestly, you know, sometimes you hear people say like, you want to post about the F's. You want to post about the friendships, the fun, the freedom, the food, fitness, fashion, family, funds or money. I like taking pictures of money, things like that. And so let me see if I can pull this up. Let's see if I can share my screen. Oh, I hate when it does this. Okay. So I've never done this on my new phone, so it should still work. Screen mirroring. It's looking. It's going to pull up.
Yay, cool.
Oh. Have you ever done this before? It's fun. Hold on, I think I'm on the wrong Wi-Fi. Okay. It's going to pull up, and I'm going to bring up my Instagram and just show you guys kind of the way that I post and walk you through it a little bit. So, all right, it's almost there. I had to connect my phone to the right Wi-Fi. It's looking. Okay, so pretty much, those things that I talked about, friendship, fun, freedom, family, fashion, food, funds. What's another one? I don't know. Fur babies, that's a good one. Things like that. So for me, you'll notice a lot lately, family-wise, I'm posting about being pregnant. I'm posting about my husband or my dog. I'm posting pictures of our house, which kind of goes into lifestyle type thing. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. It says it's supposed to be working, but oh well, scratch that idea.
Shoot. Try it again.
It would have been cool if I think I have to reset my phone, and I don't have the patience to do that right now. So anyway, so if you get the chance, I'll put my link to Instagram in the chat so you can look it up. That's my main one. But pretty much, like, if you are looking at my profile or see the photos that I have, besides the fact that I do post results, like before and after pictures every once in a while, you would glance at it and sometimes you wouldn't even know that I was a distributor. I want people to still see like my life. And I think that's something that's really important, because then people don't realize that I'm advertising to them. So, like, just as an example, whoops, I didn't mean to save that. I posted a photo today that I did a bathroom mirror selfie today. I don't know if you can see that. But I did just a bathroom mirror selfie, and my caption talks about how I'm pregnant, and literally I just got a text message right now of another girl that's interested, but I talked about being pregnant and how I went to the gym for the first time in I don't even know how long, and then I talked about pregnancy, and then all of a sudden I just switched it and I said, I'm so excited about these easy $100 bonuses you can earn before Christmas. I'm helping 6 people join us this week, and I'm going to help them earn $600 by Christmas. I'm even talking to a beautiful mom all the way in Australia about getting started. If you want to claim one of these 6 spots to make Christmas cash, send me a message. And so just from that one post, I've had at least 3 new people reach out to me today. So it doesn't look like an ad. I mean, it's a bathroom mirror selfie.
Right.
But, and I talked about regular life first and then just about the business later. And so that's one thing. Hey, you made it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my bathroom mirror selfie. Besides that I do put before and after pictures, you really can't tell I'm a distributor. So that's something that I really love doing is, because then I can make products about, or I can make posts about becoming a product tester or trying the products, or I can make posts about becoming a distributor. Super easy. And so you can tell when the BOGO was going on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can totally tell that, it's not black and green. And so here's mine too. You can't tell that a lot of these are really it works posts at all. Here and there you kind of can, but this is how you want your profile to look, because people are going to stop and look at these types of photos any more than if it looks like an ad. You want your pictures to be eye-catching where people will stop and look at them. So
exactly.
Was there something else you want to show on your profile before I stop this share screen?
I don't think so. I think that was all. I was just pretty much going to go through the photos. But so pretty much especially when you are posting, One thing that I've started doing is like, especially if I'm wanting to post about growing hair out or some bikini challenge or losing weight, I will go to Pinterest and I will search long hair or something like that, or I'll search bikini body or things like that on Pinterest. And it's going to put up, like blogger type pretty photos that I can then save, edit to make it match my profile, and then post about whatever with it. So I get a lot of photos that way from Pinterest. A lot of them, obviously, I take myself because they're of me. iPhone X, get one of those. Just kidding, you don't have to, but they're awesome. The iPhone X has portrait mode selfies, which they're just awesome, and you can change the lighting and things. But really, for me, like, I think the biggest thing that's going to make the difference is it doesn't matter what kind of phone you have, but on your Instagram, you want to make sure that you edit every single photo the same. So if you ever, like, this is the perfect example. Kim Kardashian, on her Instagram, she uses the same Instagram filter on all of her photos. So if you look at all of them, they all have like this orange tone to them. It's like a sepia type tone. And so it doesn't matter what kind of picture it is, she always adds that so it, the look of her Instagram looks the same. So I always edit mine the same. I like mine really bright and crisp. Other people like theirs more like white tones and more contrasty that way. Some people do that by putting white borders on their photo, but you've got to pick one style and then just stay the same. So I think that's one thing that will make your photos look a lot better collectively. And I just remember, a few years ago looking at other people's profiles, like, man, why does theirs look so pretty and mine just looks so blah? And one of the biggest things was like really just looking at the way that I was editing photos was so inconsistent. Some of my photos I had white borders around and some of them I didn't. And so I stopped doing white borders on all of my photos, and now they're just full frame pictures. So if you can just make the decision to stick with one thing, then that'll help collectively with the aesthetic, I guess, of your social media.
Yeah, I love
and the reason why that's important, though, is just kind of touching since we're talking about signing distributors, is, if you can master posting, then you're going to be attracting people to you. And so that's what we call attraction marketing. You add the right people, they start watching you. And because you have good posts and you talk about your story and you write it out so many different ways and you pull on their heartstrings, that's going to be why they reach out to you. So
what is your number way of signing distributors? Now, are you like reaching out to people yourself? Are you like messaging people that like your posts? Like, how do you typically get distributors?
So if I'm being honest, most of mine come from people that have reached out to me first. However, in the past few months, I've been consistent with signing up around 5 or more distributors a month, but I want to get back to the point where I'm signing like 20 a month. And I know like the way social media works right now, because of the fact that there is so much more competition on social media with other people trying to sell things and things like that, that the way you're going to get those bigger numbers that you want is going to be by reaching out to people and messaging. So obviously the first step from that is going to be messaging anyone that likes and comments on your photos. Then from there, I only message people that I'm friends with or people that are following me. So I mean, really, but I think that's the best part about social media is you can do it in a combination of ways. If you can be consistent with your posts, then you should be able to get 3 to 5 new interested potentials every single week just because of that. And then if you're messaging people every single day, then you should be able to get 3 to 5 new potential distributors every single day. So, it just kind of depends on how fast you want to go. How many times do you want to do the steps to success? And I just remember thinking in my head, okay, if I did the steps to success once and made $500, what if I did it 4 times this month? I'd make $2,000. So that's what I was starting to focus on. It's like, okay, if I want to make more money, I've just got to figure out how to do the steps to success faster than I'm doing them now. So honestly, you just got to be willing to do more than what you've been doing. So if you've only been posting and waiting for people to come to you, if they're not, then you know you've got to start reaching out.
Mm-hmm. One thing I really want to touch on too, because you do post your story all the time. So like if you want results like Jocelyn, where people are reaching out to you and wanting to contact you about the business, then you need to do what the leaders are doing that are getting those kind of results. So definitely check out Jocelyn's Facebook page and see what she's doing to get those kinds of results, and guaranteed she's going to be posting her story all of the time and talking about where she wants to go and all that kind of stuff. So, so along with, you know, can you like walk us through like a typical conversation? So say somebody likes your Facebook post, like what do you message them, and like walk us through like a conversation you'd have with like a distributor or potential.
Okay, so my most recent message that I've been using and having the most luck with, the way it works is I've got to go to their profile first. And the nice thing about that is that, number one, it makes sure they're not already like a distributor for some other company or whatever. It makes me have to get to know them a little bit. And then pretty much what I'll do is I'll just go through and I'll like a few of their photos, to the point that I'll like their most recent. I'll scroll down a few months, like one of the older ones, and maybe scroll down a few more months and like another one. Or super easy on Facebook with the profile pictures, you can just like those. But so I do that first, and then I send them a message and I say like, hey, so I've totally been stalking you, and I bet you probably do it to me too, but I really think you would be so good at what I do. Hold on, let me look at the message. I want to make sure I get the point across. Okay, let's see. Okay, so, hey, I totally just stalked your page. I know you are probably doing that to me too, but I can't help but say I know you would be great at what I do. And right now we are coming into the busiest time for business. Have you ever thought about making some extra money from home? And the people that I've been sending this to, that like I've been watching and they've been watching me, all of them have been interested. And so I love using that message because it shows like we've both been watching each other. And then from there, there's so many different ways you kind of go about it. Usually, like if I'm talking to them on Instagram, I try to get their number as soon as possible because Instagram limits the length of the messages that you can send, which is frustrating. And so typically, if they say they're interested, then I'll say like, I'm so excited to give you some more information. What's your phone number? Or I'm so excited, something like that. Like I get their phone number so that I can message them there. And then from there, like I'll message them and just say like, hey, so-and-so, this is Jocelyn from Instagram. I'm super excited to give you the information on how to make extra money from home. And then once I like can get a confirmation from them, then that's when I would, send them just a little bit. So you could just send them, sorry, I'm like looking through the message that I have on here. You could just send them the one that talks about how all they need to do to get started is get their business kit and talk about that that's $99. Or you could start off by talking about, maybe the 3 reasons why you love the business, or, why you think they'd be good at it. So there's so many different ways. And I've kind of been mixing it up, not necessarily going by a script every time, because I've realized that the more personalized I keep it to each person, the easier the conversations are and the more likely they are to join. And so I just did it with a gal, like I said, she's from Australia. And so I had messaged her, or she had messaged me on Instagram. And so I asked her if she had Facebook Messenger, because I don't think she has an iPhone. And so I added her on Facebook, and then I just kind of asked her, like, do you know much about the business? And she said, not really. And then I just said, okay, well, I'd love to get to know you better so that I can help you more. I asked her about her family, where she's working, and how much extra per month would make a difference for her family. And so by asking these questions and having her open up to me, I was able to learn she's got a sweet little daughter, and her partner works, I don't remember where she said he works, somewhere cool, and then she works with special needs people. And so she just really was frustrated with the fact that the rental properties in Australia have been getting harder and harder to find, and they haven't been able to save up enough money for a down payment to buy a home. And so, then I knew, okay, so any extra money at this point is going to help, because she needs that money to buy a house. And so, me getting to know her lets her know, like, hey, I'm here for you. I care for you. And I'm going to help you so that you can buy a house, or that you can get a better rental property, or whatever it is. And so I think that's one of the most important things that I do with potential distributors, is make sure they know that it's about them, and that, I think that's one thing that I was going to mention with posting. We share our stories, and sometimes we say, oh, I've got 2 spots left tonight. But then the other thing you want to mention is, what can I do for this person? So, just like my post today, I'm going to help 6 people make $600 for Christmas. That's gotten people interested because they need that. So, then once I kind of got to know her, then I, reassured her that I couldn't wait to help her do that. And then I just sent her like basic information, a little bit about how the business works. And then I don't remember where the rest of the conversation went. I think I need to respond to her still. But I think that's the most important thing to mention, is that if you can get to know them and ask them questions, it's kind of like, they always say that the best conversations are when you listen. And the more you can listen to those potentials and get to know them and their situation, the more they're going to trust you, the more they're going to value that friendship. And it's so true. Like, literally, next time you meet somebody, try this. Don't say anything about you. And if they ask you a question about you, answer it quickly, and then turn it around and ask them more questions about them. And the more you can do that and get to know people that way, they're going to love you, I promise. So, and I know, especially with social media, it is hard to form relationships. And so you've got to be very conscious and aware, get to know these potentials, especially like, how do you know how to help somebody, or that they'd be good at it, if you don't know anything about them, right? And so I think it's just something that's really important. And I feel like, it does seem a little tedious, but if you do get to know each person individually, then later down the line, if they don't sign up right away, which 9 times out of 10 they don't, you're going to be able to say, hey, so I hope your daughter's doing really well, and I hope you guys still have a rental property, and I'd love to help you start this business so you can start saving for that down payment. What do you say? She's going to be like, wow, she remembers me, and she really does want to help.
Yep.
So I think that's the most important thing.
Oh my gosh, I 100% agree with that. I feel like, this business is all about making connections and building relationships with people. And I think that's the main part, if you want to sign distributors, is like, I know I was totally guilty of this when I first started. It was like, you were doing it because you wanted that next promotion. You needed one more distributor in that box. Like, I feel like we all get to that point where we want to go get to put in that next promotion so bad. But you can't lose sight that, people have goals and dreams too. And when we all started this business, we purchased our $99 business kit because we wanted like something different in our life to change. We had some goal and dream. And so we have to remember that these people do too. And to really make them feel like that we care about their goals and dreams too. And that, this opportunity can be the vehicle to help those dreams come true. So I kind of follow the same thing. I don't know if you use voice messenger, but that's pretty much all I use on Facebook Messenger. I use voice messenger completely. And I kind of follow the same kind of steps that you do. Like, first of all, if I message somebody, I kind of want to know like how much they actually know about the business or about me. So I kind of feel them out that way. And if they don't know much about the business really, then I'll kind of explain that to them. And then I'll just kind of figure out, exactly what you said, more about them. Like, what do you do for work now? Like what kind of attracted you to this business that made you message me, or whatever it is. And then I'll just figure out how much extra money would help them breathe a little bit extra per month. So that's kind of the same thing that I follow is, how much do they kind of know about what I do, and, what attracted them to it. and, you know, what do they do? What's their current situation? Why are they interested in this? And then how much money do they want to make per month? And if you find out all of that, kind of like, you're laying the groundwork for follow up later. You're laying the groundwork for them to know that they're not just like another number, that you really care about them, and that it sets you up for so much success later. And if they don't sign up, then they, you know, eventually will, because they know that you care. And I feel like that is just a huge missing piece with a lot of people with signing distributors, because you just go straight to giving them the information, and that's $99 to sign up, and here's what you get in your business kit, and here's what's going to go on, when you got to take 5 steps back and find out why they need this, and really like get to the core of why they need that. Because once you understand that, and you can relate to them and see, this is like why I joined. I just wanted to make $500 extra a month, and I did it. And I know that I can help you do this, whatever your goal and dream is too. And I feel like so many people skip that step. And I feel like it's the most important step if you want to sign distributors. Mm-hmm. So I have a couple questions. Do you work mainly through Instagram or Facebook, or both?
It's 50-50. It's 50-50. So, and I saw in the chat, one of the questions was about how many times I post. 3 to 5 times a day on both Facebook and Instagram. They're the same. If you go to my Facebook and my Instagram, and they're the exact same posts, the exact same photos. I mean, obviously, sometimes I do Instagram stories. Oh, I forgot to finish posting my dinner one, dang it. And I posted it on Facebook, but didn't on Instagram. But anyways, and then like on Facebook, I usually post a few more times a day, whether it's just like a quick like text status, or I'll do like an interaction type post that just gets people interacting on my page. Things like that. On Instagram, I don't really, but I will tell you, like, if you want to help boost your algorithm on both Facebook and Instagram, I do think it's important to try to have at least one non-It Works post every day that has like nothing to do with the business. Yeah, like, I love using the example when I posted that we were pregnant for the first time. It went viral on Facebook and Instagram, and it started showing up on people's news feeds that I didn't even know existed. And it's just because it's something that, you know, like, so just post the types of things that you notice yourself, you stop and scroll. So usually they're posts about funny things that kids do, or something that you did as a family, or I guess get pregnant, that could help. Just things like that most, like, that normal people that don't do a business, that they post about those things at least once a day. And I don't do it once a day, but when I do it, it's very deliberate, and you can see like, okay, this is like for engagement. And by doing that, that just makes it so more people will see your business posts, even if they're not liking and commenting.
Yeah, I think it's so important to have that balance between, you know, It Works post and in personal posts, or just something non-It Works related. It's so important to have that balance, because if you're just posting It Works stuff all the time, even if it just looks like lifestyle posts, people are going to get used to seeing those posts all the time, and they might just end up scrolling right by them. So I noticed somebody had that question, how do you get more interaction when you feel like, whenever I post anything It Works related, I get nothing. But as soon as I post a picture of my kid, I get tons. And this is the beautiful part, is you can use your kids as It Works posts, because they're going to stop and look at that picture of your kid. And then you can turn that into an It Works post. You know, I post pictures of me and my husband all of the time, or, you know, like my nieces and stuff like that, and turn it into an It Works post, because you can do that with all of your kind of posts. It doesn't matter what the picture is. There's some way that you can turn it into an It Works post. But the main thing is, like, your picture needs to be appealing for people to stop and look at it. And I think that's like the main thing.
Yep. So just quick tips with that boosting engagement. So Facebook and Instagram only show your post to the people who you are engaging with. And then it shows those people that are engaging with you, it shows their followers as well. So what you've got to do is you've got to set timers, and, you know, just pick 15 minutes, or I'm going to just engage with people on Facebook. I'm just going to engage with people on Instagram. And so engage more on friends' posts than post. Like literally, if you spend more time engaging on other people's posts than you do posting, more people will see those posts. It'll take a few days to kick in, but if you start with like the most recent people that you added as friends or the most recent followers you have and engage with them, then that's going to start making that difference. So usually if your interaction is low, it's because you're not interacting.
Yes, interacting is so huge. Oh my gosh, we just got off a Zoom that Lachelle did all about boosting your algorithm. Were you on there?
No.
Oh my gosh, you have to watch that one afterwards. It was so good. But she was talking about you shouldn't just be scrolling through your Facebook. Like if you're not stopping and liking and engaging on those people's profiles, you need to be doing that. And so that is super, super important. And then I forgot there's something else I wanted to touch on with that, but now I can't remember. Oh, okay. So what I was noticing a lot with my Facebook is, the same people were popping up on my news feed over and over. And so one tip that I got recently is you can go to, like, say you're on your Facebook on your phone, you can go to feeds and then go to view most recent. And that's going to pull up everybody's posts on your entire friends list that most recently made posts. So you'll get a whole new news feed of people that you can engage with that way. So I thought that was really cool. It's completely changed, and now I have like a bunch of different new people in my news feed. So let me see. I had another girl ask a question. Okay, so how often are you posting on your Instagram stories and your Facebook stories? Do you feel like that's helping you?
Stories I'm not consistent with yet. But I think the best person right now to watch for that is presidential Stephanie Twyford, if you know who she is.
Mm-mm.
But she's on Jade's team. She's awesome.
How do you spell her last name?
I think her Instagram is, hold on, let me see if I can type it. Ugh, my keyboard's not working. That's stupid. Okay. I think her Instagram is this. So Steph Twyford, but she is so good at stories, and I get a lot of my ideas from hers. But she's still posting about like her everyday life. Every once in a while, she'll throw something in. So that's why I tried to post about dinner tonight. And then maybe like once every other day or something like that, she'll post something about like the products or the business or things like that. And I love using the poll option on Instagram. So with it, the trick with it is, let's say you need new potential customers. You could do some type of a post about the wraps or something like that, or weight loss. And you could just say, who wants to lose weight? And then with the poll options, you would then do 2 positive options. You don't say yes or no, because then that gives people an option to say no, but 2 positive options. So you would say like, yes, I need to lose weight, or like, me definitely, 2 good answers. And then, but the trick with that is that these stories expire after 24 hours. So you have to be disciplined enough to make sure that you go back before that time runs out to go look and see who watched it and who responded, so that you can go message them. I just did that yesterday and forgot to look at the results. I just was so mad at myself because I was like, well, there goes 50 potential distributors. But
I know, I did that the other day too. It's so annoying. You guys.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is, if you do a story like that with a poll, set a timer or a reminder in your phone for the next day to go look through that and message those people. Because if you don't, you're going to forget like we do.
So are you messaging people that are seeing the poll as well, or are you just messaging the people that have like participated in it?
I usually just do the people that participate, because I have a lot of people that'll participate over the Instagrams that I have. But if you only have like 10 or less that respond, then definitely message the people that look at it and just ask them like, hey, would you possibly be interested in, send them the one about, hey, I just stalked your page and you're probably doing it to me too. Send them that. Because they're watching. So I think that's something that's important to know.
I love that. Yeah, the Instagram stories, I love the polls. They're getting me so many new interested people too. So it's just another cool, fun tool. And it's like whenever they come out with these new tools, use them, figure them out, because they're going to totally boost your algorithm and everything. So,
yeah, exactly.
So what would you say, because we're coming up on an hour here and I don't want to keep you too long, but what would you say, like top distributor tips? If, there's so many people on here, I know they want to earn their Christmas cash. I know people want to get entries into these Christmas wishes. Like, what are some of your absolute best tips for maybe, somebody that's brand new that hasn't signed anybody yet, and then maybe somebody that just kind of feels like they've gone through their warm market?
Okay, so they're both kind of the same, and it pretty much, you've got to make a list. And if you don't, like, the best way I can phrase this is that I've noticed that any time in my business when I felt like, man, like I just don't even know who to reach out to, I don't know who's interested anymore, I don't even know who would be signing up, we get in these funks and these phases where we're like, man, like, who am I going to sign up next? I have no idea. And so what I've found that has been very beneficial and helpful for me is to always have a running list. So that's what we call the 100s list. And I know it seems so simple, but if you don't do it, when we have a promotion come out like the $10 kits, or when we have a deal in the future, when they do another BOGO wrap deal where they become a distributor and get an extra box for free, you're going to be like, shoot, I don't even know who to reach out to. But if you have a list in front of you of everybody that you've talked to that said they were interested, then you're like, cool, I can just message these 100 people that have already said they were interested. And chances are you can probably get 5 of them to sign up. So if you've never made a list and you're a brand, okay. So first, if you're brand new, what you're going to do is you're going to make what we call this 100 list. And pretty much what you're going to do is you're going to think of the people that you know, like literally everybody. Just write down everybody's name. And then from there, I think it's better to reach out to everybody about becoming a distributor first, because then if they're not interested in that, then you could say, okay, would you be interested then in just helping me out by ordering a product? It's easy to flip that into a customer. So, but that's the biggest thing, is you've got to think about who you know, or you could even make a list specifically, okay, 30 people that I would love to work with, or that I think are hustlers that have a lot of followers or friends on Facebook. Just write this list of people that you think could do well at this business. And then, you've got to reach out to those people. However, okay, so now let's say you've been in the business, you have some potentials, but you just feel like you don't have any. And I feel that way sometimes, even though I've been in for 4.5 years. So what I've been doing is I literally, I think the It Works planner has it in it, like 100 list, right? It does, I'm pretty sure. But I just recently got this High Achievers Playbook planner. Happening, but in it had like a prospect list. If you don't have a planner, that's just fine. I used to just use a notebook. Like I literally would just use a notebook. But pretty much what I keep track of is I write down their name if I have it. I write down where I found them from, like if it was from my phone, if they texted me, if it was from Facebook, if it was from Instagram, and what their username was. I write down those things. And I just keep track of everybody that messaged me that day or that said they were interested. So, and especially if you've been in the business a while and you feel like you have no new potentials and you don't know who to reach out to, don't get overwhelmed and focusing on like, oh, now I've got to go back and write down all these people from 2 years ago. No, just focus on December 1st and onwards. So it's going to be super easy. All you've got to do is go back through your messages since the 1st, and literally anybody that has shown interest, you write down their name. And then you now have a running list that has started. And I'll write down if they're a potential distributor or a potential customer. And then anytime I interact with them or talk to them, I like to make little notes. So on one of them, on Instagram, I had originally messaged her about trying a product, and she said she didn't have money because she's trying to save up to buy a lawyer so that she can win the custody battle for her son. How sad is that, right? But when she said she didn't have the money, I then was like, well, I would love to help you make extra money so that you can win this. And I was then able to talk to her about the business, and she's a new potential distributor. So pretty much what I'm getting at is that if you want to make the most of signing distributors, you've got to make this list and keep it going. So then, you know, on Friday, when it's follow-up Friday and most people get paid, you already have this list of all the people from the first, I think Friday is on the 8th, or from the first 8 days of December that said they were interested. You can then follow up with them and see if they'd be interested in getting started that day. And then from there, just keep that list going. So I like to do monthly lists. So then I know who's like hot potentials. I call it like a hot potential list, so you know who's the most fresh. Because I feel like the fresher the people are, the more likely they are to sign, rather than somebody that you've been messaging for 2.5 years. So, but the money comes in writing those people down, because if you don't write them down, they're going to fall through the cracks. And then all of a sudden one day you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what happened to that one girl that I was talking to that said she wanted to try the wraps first before she wanted to sign up? I don't even know what her name was anymore, you know? But if you write them down, then you're going to know that you're going to follow up with them eventually.
Yeah, that is so important. So I'm thinking too, okay, so say there's somebody that's, you know, kind of new, or maybe I know I have a couple girls on here that haven't really worked their business recently. So they don't really have a list of people. They don't have posts where people are interacting on their posts where they feel like they have potentials. So where would you say, as somebody that's in that position, like how are they going to sign distributors this month? Like what steps should they take for them to start signing distributors?
Step 1, start posting consistently today. Like just start. You know, this being successful on social media, it comes in 4 parts. The first part is posting. The second part is messaging. The third part is adding new people. And the fourth part is following up. If you don't do those 4 things, you're never going to be successful on social media. So make the decision that you're just going to be consistent and commit to posting every day. And then from there, if you feel like you don't have anyone to reach out to about the business, you've just got to message people. You know, I literally just went live with my team page today, and I said, you know, go print out your Facebook friend list, and we're just going to message everybody by the end of the year. I mean, I don't care if you have 5,000 friends, figure out how many people that is per day. And if we can message them all by the end of the year, then you're either going to know whether they're interested or not. And from there, you're going to be able to have all those potentials. But, and that's kind of, okay. So this whole list thing started for me in probably March, because I felt like I didn't have any potentials to reach out to, and I really wanted to go diamond on my 2.0. And so I just decided, you know, from listening to other trainings that other people have been putting on, they said every single time you ever message somebody and they show you any inkling of interest, you write their name down, because then you'll follow up with them later. And so that's what I did. And that month I signed up like 20 loyal customers, because I was writing people's names down. I knew exactly who was interested. And it was really easy for me to then follow up with them a few days later and a week later and things like that. So if you need distributor, you don't, well, number one, it's still about them, but working towards distributors this month, when you're messaging these people, anytime they show you interest, just make sure to write their names down. And yeah, sometimes it's going to take a little bit longer to start this list and grow it. But if you can commit to messaging a good amount of people every single day, then that number is going to grow daily. So, you know, in my opinion, it truly is a numbers game. And the cool thing about it is if you start by messaging just 30 people a day, eventually you're going to get better at knowing what to say when you message people. Scripts don't always work. Sometimes you've got to just figure out what to say on the fly. And I promise, like, I'm not even kidding you. Anytime I try to use other people's scripts, it never works for me. But if I change it so that it sounds like me and it's my own, it always works. So you've got to realize, like, the worst you're ever going to be at messaging somebody and asking them about how to do this business is today. And then tomorrow you're going to get a little bit better. And the next day you're going to get a little bit better, because perfection comes through progress, and you're never going to progress unless you do it. Those 4 things, again, somebody asked, it's adding people, messaging people, posting, and following up. I did that in a different order, but they're the same things every time.
Yep. That's like I mean, this business really isn't difficult. And I feel like everybody likes to like overcomplicate it. They're like, what secret like message are you sending out? What's the script? What's this? What's that? And it's really exactly what you said. You're going to get better every single day. Everybody has to start somewhere, but the thing is that you just start. So if you've been stagnant in your business, if you're just starting out, like start right now. Get off this Zoom, make a post, talk about how excited you are about the Christmas cash, and make that decision. Like set a goal for yourself. How much Christmas cash do you want this month? How many entries do you want in for the Christmas wish? Like set these goals for yourself. Take quitting off the table and make the decision that you're just going to do it. And that is like that's the magic sauce right there, is making that decision and setting those goals for yourself and then just taking immediate action. And somebody asked, like, how many people do you think someone should message a day?
How many people do you want to sign up? So I think everybody has different statistics and different numbers. And I know this is something that Chad talks about a lot. I remember watching one of their first YouTube videos that they said if they wanted to sign up a customer a day, they had to talk to 3 to 5 interested people, and one of them would sign up. And so it's figuring out what those numbers are for you. So like sometimes for me, I feel like if I message 30 people every single day, I'm probably going to get about 5 new potentials from that. And if I keep talking to those 5 potentials, I can probably get 2 of them to sign up within the week. So, but then it's like, okay, but if I only message 30, then that's only 2 people. But if I message 100, then I could potentially sign up like 10 people. So, it's really just making that decision and figuring out what's going to work for you. But you're never going to know unless you try. So this is something awesome that Joel and Stephanie taught me when I went to their leadership retreat this past month. So number 1, what you've got to do is you've got to set goals. You're going to set 3 different goals. The first one is going to be an achievable income goal that you want to reach, something you can do. The second one is going to be something that is like super wild, beyond your wildest dreams. You don't know if you can get there, but you're going to shoot for it. It scares the crap out of you anyways. And then the third one is how many fast start bonuses per month do you want to earn? Not Christmas cash, fast start bonuses. So, that first one, maybe you want to make $500 a month. That second one, maybe the number that scares you is $6,000 a month like it was for me. And then maybe that third one, you're like, I want to make $500 a month with fast start bonuses. You have those numbers. Then what you've got to figure out is your musts. This is something Pam talked to us about. She said, all the things that you tell yourself, oh, I should do that. I should message people. I should post more. I should text my loyal customers. Turn those into musts. I must message people. I must post. I must message my loyal customers. And that's going to help you give yourself that urgency and that momentum. So from there, you have your goals, and then you've got to break them down weekly. I'll use Stephanie as her example because she's always had her goal of 10 distributors a month. That's $1,000 with fast start bonuses. So then she knows, okay, if I want to reach my goal, I have to sign up 5 distributors before the 15th, which means that I have to sign up about 2 to 3 distributors a week. So then from there, you can figure out, okay, if my must is I must message 30 people a day, you go your first week and you don't sign anybody up, then you just need to increase your must. And you're like, okay, 30 is not going to cut it. I'm not reaching my goal, so I've got to do more. And then from there, you can figure out what more you need to do to reach that goal. And so that's how you need to look at this month. Figure out the number of distributors you want before the 12th. We've got 6 days. And then you've got to figure out, okay, if I'm talking to 50 people a day and I'm not signing a distributor, then I should probably talk to 100 people tomorrow. And I think that's where you're going to get the results that you want. You've got to gauge with your goals. You've got to set deadlines, and you've got to reevaluate and realize, okay, I'm not getting the results I want, so I've got to do something different.
I love that. And it's just like this business is so simple. If you don't like the results that you're getting right now, you just do more. Like it's as really as simple as that. You don't like what you're getting, just do more. And I love the idea of setting like those 3 goals: an achievable goal, a scary one, and a the fast start goal. I know that Steph and Joel are always focused on, how many fast starts that they want to get. And I feel like so many times we take the focus off the fast start bonuses when really they're so awesome. I mean, imagine getting, an extra $100 to $500 loaded into your account every single Friday on top of your commissions that you can earn. And it's just getting into that consistent habit of messaging people every single day, and then that snowballing into consistently signing distributors every single day, into consistently getting those fast start bonuses every single month. And then on top of it, the Christmas cash. It's just so awesome. So, I mean, it all just comes down to consistency and working your business like you want to get it. You want to get paid like a successful business owner. That's what it comes down to. All right. Did you have anything that you wanted to add? I know I already took over an hour of your time and you're just so amazing, but.
Yeah, this is something that I've just been like really blunt with people lately about, and I think it just needs to be said. You are either going to do it or you're not. So make the decision. And more than that, you've got to realize lazy people do not make $10,000 or more a month. So if you want that, I know you say that's your goal, you've got to do the work. And if you are willing, then you'll do it. So make the decision. Are you doing it or not?
Love it. Your red came out on that one. I love it. Oh my God, you are so amazing. Thank you so much for taking time out and just giving us all of your tips and everything. And I love your story. I just adore you. I'm so happy for your pregnancy and your brand new house and everything. It's awesome to watch your guys' whole journey unfold. And again, thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me. That was so fun.
All right. I'm going to